Hello, YouTube. Happy July. Can you believe it's already freaking July? I think we should get immediately into it to see what predictions the universe has in store for us this month. I was just dancing on a speaker in a gay club for New Year's Eve, and now here we are. Life comes at you fast. Now, anyway, we have pulled, oh my, the frog and the lotus metamorphosis, and I think that's pretty freaking poignant. So as always, I'm going to read from the booklet and then we'll get into the deeper meanings of this card. Metamorphosis, the frog and the lotus. This card reminds us that change is natural, rebirth is possible, and a healing balance can be achieved. The frog, developing as it does from a tiny tadpole, symbolizes transformation. The lotus flower too symbolizes rebirth, unfurling even amid murky waters. Going through such a change can be difficult and a struggle, but the resulting metamorphosis opens us to growth, self-acceptance, and happiness. Consider what in your life needs changing, and think about the steps you can take to achieve that change. You owe it to yourself to allow your own growth and rebirth. Okay. Universe coming in hot with messages here, and yeah, that's pretty straightforward and pretty poignant. This is already turning out to be such a interesting month. It's the first today. I like to do the readings on the actual day, and so many changes, whether it's with your work life, your home life, your romantic life. Just notice in your life the instances where change is inevitable, and maybe you're resistant because you love him, or you're fearful of leaving your job, or you don't know where else you're gonna live, rent is too damn high. All of those things are very true, but do you want to make yourself uncomfortable for the sake of staying in the place where you are now? Here we have devotion. Let's go. The sheep and the blackberry. And it is not lost upon me that this is number 6, the frog and the lotus. And then this card is number 5, devotion. The sheep and the blackberry call us to focus on our commitments, whether they are to a partner, a job, a creative practice, or a spiritual tradition. Sheep are innocent and vulnerable and must be watched over and guided. Blackberries are symbols of protection with their large brambling thorns. Their abundant fruit also symbolizes prosperity. Combining the energies of these two give us a direction. Honor our promises, allowing them to fruit and flourish. In what people or practices do you find wisdom and stability? Remember to care well for these sources of guidance and protection. And I think this could also just be honoring your choice, honoring yourself by avoiding to stay stagnant, honoring your commitment to do something every single day that will allow you to experience a metamorphosis in some way. So for example, let's say you have a goal to have a quote unquote summer body, whatever, just for example. Honor something by doing that. Maybe it's drinking more water every day, going for a walk, maybe going for a run, maybe having, we have some cards that fell out, a vegetarian, vegan day once a week. Do one thing a day that you know is going to help honor that commitment. Here we have anticipation. I see you shiver with anticipation. Okay, sorry, I had to do that. For my musical theater geeks, if you know, you know. So we have the quail and the gooseberry. Fresh gooseberries are a tempting treat, but pick them without care and you might hurt yourself. Gooseberry bushes are loaded with thorns meant to protect the delicate fruit within. Similarly, the quail anticipates danger by hiding among low-growing vegetation. From its obscured perch, it keeps careful watch, monitoring for predators. The event or outcome you've anticipated is about to occur. Take advantage of your foreknowledge, preparing for what is to come. So for those of you who maybe are you anticipating a move, a breakup, something that has to do with your metamorphosis. Something is coming up that the universe wants you to know that you should be preparing for this change, and not just preparing for it, but be ready to be receptive, be ready to accept it. Because what did RuPaul say? If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. So how can you prepare yourself for whatever this metamorphosis might be? For example, if you know you want to move house, maybe you start ordering some boxes, ordering some packing tape, start donating some clothes, donating some books, doing the things that you know are going to prepare you for this inevitable move. If you know you want to switch jobs, maybe you start preparing your resume. You know, do some of these things that can help you be prepared for whatever this metamorphosis might be. Oh, we have the sun. So the sun card is one of the most positive cards in the tarot. This card represents attainment, fulfillment, a willingness to be vulnerable, the sense of innocence. This card also represents letting yourself step into the light, to be nourished, to be healed, vitality. This card is allowing yourself to accept joy and using the luminescence of the sun essentially to watch wounds of your past diminish and fade. And this is honestly rekindling this childlike wonder that you have in the traditional tarot. There's like a naked kid on a horse just living its best life. And this card represents health, invigoration, and victory over darkness. So whatever this metamorphosis is, whatever this change is that we're going to be experiencing this month of July, I mean, when the sun card appears, it's thought to negate any potential negative energy or any potential negativity in the tarot completely or in your spread. So whatever else may come up, the sun card is here to let us know that its vibrancy will illuminate any darkness that may come up. And then we have the moon. Bitch, are you kidding me right now? What the Sorry, oh my God. I know we can't swear on YouTube. Okay, so this is wild. So the moon represents boundless imagination. This represents sudden changes, which is interesting because we have metamorphosis and this anticipation card, which is to letting us know that we need to be ready for these changes. This card represents trusting our intuition to guide us. This card also wants you to know that the situation is currently in flux. So whatever the situation is, just like the moon is always moving and changing, waxing, waning, same with this situation, it is in flux. This card asks you to re-examine your current beliefs about the situation. So notice if you're seeing it with a clear lens, and worst case scenario, to trust your intuition, to trust your instinct. This card reminds us that nothing is forever, change is the only constant. And this card asks us to reflect upon our dreams and to water our dreams, to nurture our dreams, because water needs to flow or else stagnation can build, and that's where we get disease. Oh wow, getting two major arcana and having them be the sun and the moon is crazy. What tomfoolery witchcraft am I doing right now? So let's see what else is coming up for us for this month of July. We have the Eight of Wands. So Eight of Wands represents messages that are coming our way. Wands tend to represent fire, and wands represents passion, also representing things that have to do with our career, but this represents swift communication. This represents also exciting news aimed directly toward you, being flooded with messages of good fortune. You may hear from old friends, old lovers suddenly out of the blue. You may be asked to take an unexpected trip, maybe for work. It represents a dramatic shift of the winds that occurs in order to clear stagnation. Okay, July. Come on now. So double check your spam folder, double check if you see an unknown number. Maybe if you tend to send it to voicemail, maybe you pick up the phone this time, but there are some messages coming your way, maybe about that job that you've been waiting for. Maybe that person who you've been crushing on is ready to ask you out. So let's see what else we have in store. Solitary Witch, heal yourself first. Ain't that the mother truth? The companion tarot card that corresponds to this is Temperance. Keywords: heal yourself first. It begins with you. Believe in yourself. The solitary witch is not worried about what others are doing. She prefers to practice alone in the sacred space of her choosing rather than relying on a coven to support her. She may meet with others occasionally. Ultimately, she knows her path is her own to walk in her own time. Many will call upon her for her gifts, which she is happy to share, but first and foremost is her own healing, for she knows she is of little use to anyone without first supporting herself. Pulling the solitary witch is a sign that you have overlooked yourself. You may need to spend more time in solitude, treat yourself to a rare experience, or spend more time developing your gifts before sharing them with others. Pulling this card can also signify that your healing work starts within. You may need to work on healing your ancestral lines or being called to develop a better relationship with your spirit guides. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Have some devotion to yourself. Notice if you are in a situation where you may be putting others first, putting work first, putting your kids first, putting your partner first, putting other people first. This card asks you to please put yourself first for once, to please notice those instances where you have poured into the cup of everyone else and then you are drained. It is time for you to go on your hot girl walks, put your phone on do not disturb, tell people you will get back to them tomorrow. Tell people no. Tell people no. When was the last time you said no? Put yourself first, and not only that, heal yourself first. Oh my. We have the broken branch. We have heartache. And it's interesting that it's next to this Eight of Wands, anticipation, the moon. The situation is in flux. So I will say this, take what resonates with you, leave the rest. This is a reading on YouTube. So if this doesn't apply to you because you are not in a relationship, it does not apply to you. The companion card of this is the Three of Swords. Keywords: heartache, severing, letting go of unhealthy limbs for the greater good. When caring for a plant, it is important to cut off any parts that are dying, or the plant will continue redirecting vital nutrients to that area in hopes of saving it. The damage needs to be removed for the good of the entire plant, allowing what is healthy and strong to continue receiving enough resources to grow even healthier. The same is true for people. When you put all of your energy into something that is dying, you're redirecting energy that could fuel stronger areas. When you focus on an ex, you are missing your chance to have a strong, healthy relationship with someone new. When you focus on your mistakes, you miss your strengths and fail to build upon what you are good at. There are some things or people in your life that you are sucking up your energy and need to be severed for your overall well-being. The more time and resources you give to this broken area, the more you will suffer in your own life. You may see this manifesting in a lack of money or time, spending more time working on someone else's projects to the detriment of your own, feeling drained of your happiness and energy in the company of someone else, or feeling a general sense of dread and lack of direction. And how often does that happen? When you find yourself, let's just say, for example, a shitty relationship that is not serving you. Maybe you're fighting all the time with that person. Maybe that person is super negative. Maybe they're passive aggressive. They stonewall you. Maybe you're currently living with an ex and you feel as if you are just kind of trapped in that situation. You need to do your best and do yourself a great service and leave. Cut that person off, cut that relationship off. So let's see what else the universe has in store, because we literally have Eight of Wands messages coming our way, this solitary witch healing ourselves first, along with broken branch heartache. So let's see what else is going to be coming towards us. Ooh, come on. We got allow anger, girl. Okay. I think this is very, very, very poignant considering the cards that we already have. So, anger's fire is fuel for change. Metamorphosis. Too little fire and we risk becoming listless or depressed. Too much and we risk our peace of mind becoming consumed by wrath or worse, bitterness. The invitation in this moment is to find the creative power in your anger. Anger is a sacred fire denied to many of us. We're encouraged to be compliant and agreeable, even when it's not in our best interests. What change can you invite? What injustice can you transform into justice through giving anger its voice? Allow sacred fire to have its space. Feed what is no longer vital into the fire so it can be reborn into new life. Allow yourself to feel what you need to feel, and it's interesting that this allow anger card is situated underneath the sun, which is all about fire and vitality. So allow yourself to feel angry for what's happened to you. We unfortunately live in a society where I don't like the be the bigger person. I personally like to match energy. If you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. If you want to f around and find out, prepare to f around and find out. I mind my business until it becomes my business to mind yours. And if you need to be angry, if you need to be sad, feel what you need to feel. But sometimes I think we have this like society where it's like, oh, be the bigger person, don't fall into it. But sometimes that attitude can turn into a bit of toxic positivity, and it devalues your justifiable anger or frustration at a scenario. So please don't gaslight yourself into thinking that you need to hold back in any way, shape, or form. Ooh, literally, beware the shame creature. Excuse me, what were we just talking about? So, shame grows when it's fed. It'll gobble up your enthusiasm quicker than a frog devours fireflies on a hungry night at the pond. Once upon a time, you could not control how much shame you consumed. But as a sovereign adult, you get to choose how much you feed the shame monster by monitoring your thoughts. You are now responsible for how much it grows. Starve the monster by refusing to feed it your thoughts of unworthiness. Shrink it by sharing your shame stories. Find a trusted person and share for the sheer act of sharing. Hidden shame grows, but exposed shame shrinks. You don't need to be shameless or completely healed from trauma. You simply need to let out your shame so it doesn't complicate the situation. Write it down in a journal, collage it, and then toss it in the fire. Just get it out of you. Shame has no place in a creature as lovely and as deserving as you. I wholeheartedly agree with this. I have a friend who was in a very rough situation with an ex-partner, and a lot of us in her friend circle, some of us knew, but a lot of people did not know because unfortunately there was shame associated with it. And there was nothing for her to be ashamed of. This had everything to do with that individual or that circumstance just not being a good person, truly. And I think in this instance, it's very important to know that whatever has happened to you is not your fault. And it is okay to let other people in. It is okay to share it. Journal about it. Write a letter to that person or that situation that has upset you, and then toss it in the fire. Burn it up, destroy it, but get it out of you. Record a video of yourself ranting and put loud music over it and then upload it. Like, do whatever you need to do, but don't let it sit inside. Don't let it fester, because that is how ultimately that thing that you're not even responsible for, that is how it takes over and destroys your life, when ultimately you didn't even have anything to do with it. You were just simply trying to live your life, and then life. And here, we have the Three of Pentacles. So Pentacles represents finite things such as time and money, and specifically the Three of Pentacles represents working together. This represents collaborating with someone. So this card asks you, especially if you have a project, to invite other people in for teamwork. This is collaborative action, and this is being in a productive space. This card asks you to involve others in your plan to speed up your progress, and literally in sharing your stories and sharing what's happened to you can speed up your progress of healing, because you never know what else someone has gone through, that you could take advice from how they overcame that situation or gain some insight. And if you feel comfortable sharing in the comments something that you've overcome recently, please feel free to share it. Maybe it will inspire someone else, maybe it will motivate someone else, but use this opportunity to work with others. Use this opportunity to exchange ideas with other people to help incite growth. A card has fallen out. Let's see. Girl, we have the Three of Swords. I swear to God, this is the same card. Broken Branch, the companion card was the Three of Swords. Someone is going through it. I'm just gonna say this right now. Dump him, dump her, dump they, them. Whatever is going on, that we got the Three of Swords essentially twice in a reading is so poignant. If you were wondering whether you should leave that job, that person, that situation, do it, please. It will serve you for July. There's absolutely no reason for you to carry this trauma or whatever the hell is going on in the situation with you any longer. And I don't want to end on a crazy note like that. So we are going to pull one more card, but I mean, if the universe was telling you to leave that person or that situation anymore, I mean, getting the Three of Swords twice is super poignant. And honestly, there's no reason for you to allow someone to breadcrumb you. There's no reason for you to allow someone who sends you mixed signals into your life. Truly, like, if you don't have clarity about a situation where you're dating someone, if you find yourself in perpetual situationships, change that for the summer. Put yourself first, period. We have the Seeker. And some of the phrases on this card, it says, could you surrender just a little bit more? Affirmation spell is, I surrender to the divine. The third eye does not look in order to see. Instead, it feels and knows. It is the most mystical of all spiritual symbols and is the seeker of our world. The part of us that brings us to higher understandings and connects us with the divine if we allow it. The seeker archetype is the cloaked being who can travel between realms, the one who uncovers universal magic and mysteries, the finder of the Atlantis in the sea, the opener of ancient books even when the world tells them not to. They travel to forbidden and uncharted lands when others are too fearful to do so. Ironically, our human nature and our own two eyes can often get in the way of our seeking. Part of learning to see with our third eye is to actually close our own, to get out of our way of boxed-in thinking, rationalizing, and overanalyzing. Reason and logic are not what carry us to magical realms. It is surrendering to spirit and quieting our mind so we can open up to the mysterious. The one who learns to see does it by using their third eye connection to spirit. Notice that the goddess in the artwork is crying. She cries tears of awe and wonder at what she is seeing. Her third eye, wide open and looking toward the heavens, is symbolic of the heightened understandings and awakenings that we are capable of receiving. A release, signified by the tears flowing downwards, allows for the rise, the third eye seeing upwards. Observe how the goddess becomes the horizon. She is the rising sun with a renewed sense of optimism for life. The sun is within her mouth, as though she will speak, express, or sing about her powerful experience. That surrendering and releasing rather than controlling and consuming was how she achieved it. She asks you, can you surrender just a little bit more? It would be wise to continue practicing the release of yourself to spirit. The best way to activate your third eye is to get your mind out of the way. Let yourself get carried away within the magic of every present moment. Try to get through a whole day of not judging, forcing, or overanalyzing anything. If you pay attention, you will be surprised by how much you do. Spirit would rush in if only it had the room. And with that being said, my loves, this is the reading I got for you for this July. Please feel free to drop a sword emoji in the comment section if you made it to the end of the reading. And please feel free to like this video, subscribe to the channel, you know, the whole shebang. And furthermore, if you want a little bit more insight into July transits, Venus has just entered Taurus, its own sign, and I'm going to be doing a love prediction reading over on patreon.com/thebaristawitch. It is just $5 a month, and over there I have a lunar calendar for all of the full moons and new moons for the entire summer season. So that's July, August, September, including the eclipses that's happening in September. That includes a little fact sheet about what the moon is, full moon rituals, new moon rituals, spell work as well. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. Bye-bye.